PC Perspective's coverage of CES 2017 is brought to you by NVIDIA. See the latest in GPU technology at geforce.com. Hey everybody, Ryan Schroff from PC Perspective here. We're at the ASUS suite at CES 2017. Going to take a look at a couple of new motherboards that they're showing off. This one here is the Maximus IX Apex, and this motherboard is really meant for the extreme overclocking crowd. And it has a lot of weird kind of intricate details that you might not have otherwise seen on motherboards. For example, there's only 4 SATA ports. That's kind of unique and interesting, right? But one of the things that they've found is by removing the necessary need to kind of split off that clock for the other 2 channels, or those 2 SATA connections, that actually improve stability and improve their overclocking headroom on this board. You'll also see that they have this weird thing here called the DIMM.2 slot, and this is actually a separate memory slot off the motherboard. There's only 2 DDR4 DIMM slots, and this one is a DDR3 / diagnostic / support for this device. And it actually, this little adapter supports 2 M.2 connections on it, so you can run, your SLI, or just have 2 individual, or SLI. You can run RAID, or you can run 2 individual SSDs on this, but they actually connect in through a DIMM slot, removing some of the noise from the board design itself. There's also neat little visual cues here where some of the motherboard is kind of inset in these different locations, making it easier for some of these open test benches to be utilized. Of course, you still have your RGB lights. You still have all of your Aura capability here, so all the devices can connect together. And obviously, in this particular setup, they have some G-Scale memory. I think this is, they said they had it running at over 4,500 megahertz already, and it looks pretty as well. And they've even got these SSDs that have LEDs in them as well. So this is fairly low-cost board, about $279 or so, maybe a little bit lower than that. And this is kind of aimed at that OC crowd. But for those of you that just want the most of everything, they have one of those left too. All right, for those crazy people that want really everything involved in their motherboard, ASUS is building the Maximus IX Extreme. Now, I will warn you, I do not know the price of this motherboard, but it is going to be very expensive. As you can see here, it has a lot of interesting features, the most striking of which is obviously the integrated kind of all-in-one block. Covers the CPU, covers the chipset. This is from Bits Power. It is designed by ASUS, built by Bits Power. It has really cool stuff in it, like this. If you have any leaks, these little sensors along the side will detect it and automatically shut down the system to prevent any damage. Underneath here is an M.2 slot, so you'd actually have it like actively cooled M.2 connection here, and there's another one under here as well. You still have support for all your normal PCI Express. You've got lots of SATA, USB 3, all type of stuff. But you notice that there's these blocks of fan headers down here. There's sets of 4 here. There's a set of 4 here. For people that do a lot of water cooling, if you're running 3 or 4 fans, these can all run off the same PWM control, which is really nice. Plus, you get plenty of other fan controllers across all of these devices as well. Other little things, if you look on the back panel here, you'll see that it is kind of has an integrated I/O shield as opposed to using one from the case, and ASUS claims that reduces kind of ESD issues by a factor of 2, and also it illuminates inside the connections, which I think is actually really awesome. Another little interesting thing they've done is this is a typical kind of audio shield, and they just kind of have pinouts for the audio. It might be a little bit hard to see in the video, but what they've actually done on this board is moved so that the PCB is actually in there itself, so that there's less noise and less possible interference from the motherboard itself there. So it's other little tweaks like that. So this is the Maximus IX Extreme. Clearly, this is only a board if you're buying water cooling. It's super expensive, probably $500 to $600 is a reasonable guess for this. But if you just want all of the neat stuff for your upcoming system, this is the one to get.